As ever, I'm always delighted by the comments. There's one here from Stephenfarthing, and he says, "This is one of so many congratulations, too much and too many. I wish that Putin could stuff it where the sun rarely shines." Come to think of it, how could a frozen corpse with smedley frozen peas and runner beans offer such a thing? Stuffing frozen peas up there would be notoriously difficult. After all, Professor, you mentioned it. I think stuffing a frozen pea would be quite ingenious. It sounds like something that the Romans at the end of the Roman Republic would have tried to do. They had a penchant for extravagant dishes, particularly stuffed dormice. I think they were called gliridae. They were among the delicacies served at opulent banquets. And these dormice, there's a book about it, actually. They were typically prepared by stuffing them with a mixture that included minced pork, various herbs, nuts, and sometimes honey. I'm sure there was honey involved. There was honey involved in most things. The Romans had a sort of cheesecake, which wasn't terribly terribly successful, I think, but it was covered in honey, which makes it palatable. And then they'd roast these dormice or bake them, and the dish was considered a symbol of luxury and was served to showcase the host's wealth and sophistication. And the glirarium was a special vessel used to keep dormice alive until they were ready for the preparation. Regarding the legality of the consumption of dormice, it was a matter of class distinction, and over time certain forms of excessive luxury were frowned upon by the state. The lex fania and the lex oppia, among other sumptuary laws passed during the Roman Republic, aimed to limit such extravagant feasts, but the enforcement was inconsistent. However, it's debated whether the consumption of dormice itself was ever explicitly made illegal, rather than simply being discouraged as part of these broader anti-luxury measures and everyone's got to wear wool and so on, everyone ought to do a bit of farming. Actually, when it came to farming, people would have their luxury villas, and then they would import all the fruit that they claimed had been gathered. It would all be carefully arranged in baskets to give the impression it had just been brought in from the fields. And then there was Lucullus, the man with the fish ponds. He had so many fish ponds, and traditionally fish farming was very much the thing in ancient Rome. But Lucullus loved his fish so much that he would actually buy the fish from somewhere else. God forbid that he should ever eat his own fish. He had been particularly successful as a consul and as a military general, and then he was denied a triumph, rather spitefully, and he took it out on the Roman Republic by doing everything that a Roman patrician should not do. He lived to excess, and he had sort of gilded villas. In fact, I think he bought up the villa that had been owned by Marius near Naples, in the sort of flesh pots of Naples. And I think he bought it from Marius's daughter. And one of the things he's credited with launching was the consumption of peacock as a delicacy, with the tail feathers sort of repositioned as it was brought in for dinner. And while he may not have been the first actually to roast peacocks, he was certainly among the most prominent figures in ancient Rome to serve them at feasts, setting a standard for indulgence that later Romans emulated. And even when he ate alone, he insisted on all the all the trappings, because he said Lucullus isn't eating alone. Lucullus is eating with Lucullus. Lucullus is dining with Lucullus. It's I think one could see Putin taking the same approach, dead or alive.